Hello, welcome back. Alright. Story of Kony 2012. I don't even know what this is. Okay. What's it showing up like that? The heck?
Kony 2012 is the story of a man, Jason Russell,
Okay.
and his relentless quest to stop Ugandan warlord
Okay. Okay.
Joseph Kony.
Whoops.
Let's begin with the action start.
I thought it was a convention or something.
On March 5th, 2012, a charity called Invisible Children published a high-production video called Kony 2012. It was an awareness campaign seeking to mobilize action to capture or kill Ugandan warlord Joseph Kony.
And the goal of the story
Always choose kill if you find him. Never choose capture.
was to make Kony famous.
30 minutes long, it really tried to pull at your heartstrings.
At the end of my life, I want to say that the world we've left behind is one that Gavin can be proud of. A place that doesn't allow Joseph Kony and child soldiers.
And little Gavin would have been proud.
Okay.
Because it took off like no video on YouTube ever had.
We wanted 500,000 views in the whole year of 2012. We got 500,000 views in the first 3 hours.
It
Nice.
received 100 million views in the first 6 days. 1.4 million likes.
Yeah, that's the thing about the internet. You literally never know what the fuck is gonna blow up. My most popular video is the Snow White trailer. And I did that shit because it was only 2 minutes. I only did it because it was like a quick thing that I could get out of the way, and it ended up being the most popular thing I ever done.
Click that link in the description below. They clicked it so hard the website went down, and their email was so inundated that the service provider assumed it was an attack and temporarily pulled the plug. The Times named it the most viral video ever. It raised the charity over $20 million.
You'll have to see it. You'll have to see it.
People really went fucking bananas for this video and those Ugandan kids. 4 million hashtags. People changed their Facebook profiles, so you knew it was a big deal. A fan-made mobile game.
Oh, so that's how I did. That's how I didn't know about it. It was a Facebook thing. I never knew.
Are you woke about Joseph Kony? Yeah, but are you woke enough to get a tattoo?
What?
People were up for pretty much it.
Why would you get a tattoo for a trend in 2012? What the fuck?
Anything to stop Kony, as long as it didn't involve any practical action. 1 like equals 1 saved child. But who is Joseph?
The typical, yeah. Not actual. Well, I mean, they raised $20 million. That's something.
Kony, and what's all the fuss? Well, he's the leader of the Lord's Resistance Army, LRA.
My God, you're greasy.
And he really is one of the most
Yeah.
evil people living today. Imagine the worst crime you can think of committing, and he'll have done it thousands of times over.
Takes
Really?
children, makes
I wonder if he's still alive in 2025.
them kill their parents and eat their parents.
What?
The surviving girls will be kept as sex slaves, and
Of
the
course.
boys conscripted into the LRA as child soldiers.
Okay.
I know, it's kind of a bummer.
It's all part of a civil conflict that's been going on for 30 years. We'll get into the details later, but for now, consider
I wonder if it's still happening in 2025.
this our one-dimensional bad guy. And here's our protagonist, Jason Russell, the figurehead of Kony 2012 and Invisible Children. He's a devout Christian, stereotypically Californian,
I do consider myself a refined valley dude.
Okay.
but he has a bad boy side too. So it all starts in 2003 when, as a naive and aspiring filmmaker, he goes to Uganda with 2 friends in search of a story. While driving through a rural village,
A car was shot in front of us by a rebel army who was led by
A bit misleading. It was a car that had taken the same road earlier in the day. Jason and Co weren't there to witness it. Okay.
a guy named Joseph
I mean, it's embellishing the story. Okay.
Kony.
they drive to a city for safety and find this. Turns out it's part of a nightly routine. Kids live in the villages, but commute to the city to sleep there to avoid being kidnapped in midnight raids by the LRA.
Thousands and thousands of kids without an adult in sight.
Jason had found his story. And a cause. It must have made a real impression on him, because for the next
I mean, if you see something like that, yeah, I think it would do an impression on all of us.
10 years he dedicated himself, almost exclusively, to trying to improve things in Uganda and stop Kony. Kony 2012 was the culmination, but in the preceding years he tried a bunch of other schemes. This,
The bracelet campaign.
this,
White's
Okay.
daily broadcast about where the LRA is and where they're active.
and this.
Do what we always do. Dance.
Ugh. Jesus. Okay. I mean, yeah, he's the typical. He's looking for attention. He's using these causes to get attention for himself. That's what I'm getting. However, if it leads to something good happening, we can cut some slack, even if we don't personally like the guy.
This is all real.
Ugh. I wanna die. I wanna die. What the fuck? The cringe. Oh god. Oh god. What the f... What in the fuck? Okay, Zac Efron, calm down. Calm down. Was the strategy to make it so bad that people share it just because it's so fucking bad?
Naturally,
Please tell me
questions
that was
have been
the
raised
idea.
about his sexual orientation.
All these other rumors too that you were gay.
Why? Why would anyone question it? I think it's very clear. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard those rumors.
Yeah.
My parents started a large children's theater organization, so I am
Theatrical.
theatrical.
Yeah,
He's artistic. He's artistic, guys. That's all.
okay, that makes sense. Straight men are allowed to enjoy musicals. It's current.
Are we? Are we? Let's be real. Are we?
Back to Kony 2012. So the video lays out a plan called Cover the Night. Here's what you do.
Okay.
Pay $30 for your super special Kony action kit. Whoa, that's nice. In the kit you'll find 5 items. Button, bracelet, stickers, shirt, and these posters. Then, on April 20th, in the dead of night, go out and vandalize your town with awareness.
And wake up to hundreds of thousands
Okay.
of posters demanding justice on every corner.
It was going to be amazing. Everyone was on board. The countdown to April 20th had begun. And all Jason and Co. had to do was keep the momentum going and not fuck it up.
Okay, so they fucked that up. What happened?
It's the new way to move the world to action.
But this movie is not without critics.
Critics say the film manipulates the facts.
Simplifying the story.
You're simplifying a wildly complex issue.
is too late. Joseph Kony and his forces have been significantly reduced.
Pro-war activism.
Utterly naive.
By next week, this will be a passing
These
fad.
white Westerners sort of getting on a bandwagon, and actually they haven't got a clue what they're talking about.
Okay, I understand that, you know, it must be a very, very complicated situation, and I can understand that I don't think it's a pro-war thing. I don't think you need to send a full-on troops to invade Uganda or anything like that. But you can send people to help for sure. I'm sure the United Nations can help. Send a special strike team to kill Kony. That should not be that hard, to be honest. But even more than any of that, yeah, it's a bunch of white people, so I'm sure they're annoyed.
A day
But they mean well. I mean, it is a black and white issue. Kony is a bad guy. And we should be trying to save the kids. That's not a complicated issue at the end of the day.
or two later, the heady excitement gave way to more down-to-earth analysis. Media commentators started making scathing critiques of the video, and testimony from Uganda wasn't entirely positive either.
It's unfortunate that we can have people who are merchandising but using people's problems.
Then it got really serious.
What happened?
Teenage girls started weighing in.
Kony, so I asked my mom, and my mom laughs and goes, "He died like 5 years ago."
This is wrong, by the way, but it was seen
Okay.
by 4 million people. From a source of "my mum said it, so it must..."
That's the best source. That's the best source.
True. The term slacktivism started cropping up more and more. Legitimate questions were asked. How will the money donated be spent?
Yes,
that
good
invisible
idea.
children would send would have to go to the Ugandan military.
Why did you put your son in the film?
You know, why would you put your son in the film? You know, why did you put yourself in the film? It was questions about our sincerity.
Why are they saying Kony is in Uganda when he's actually in the Central African Republic?
Oh,
Invisible Children
you see?
wasn't popular among other charities either. They were hogging the limelight.
Ugh.
And they released
Ugh, fuck off. The other ones can fuck off. Fuck off.
Kony2012 just 2 days before International Women's Day.
I don't believe too much in charities because what usually happens is that they collect money and then 90% is spent on people and salaries and running the foundation. So only like 10% is actually donated. But it's a scam too. It's a scam for money. That's all it is. Most of the time. Not every time, but most.
A critical fundraising time for some. Even the Ugandan Prime Minister took a few jabs.
We do not need a sleek video on YouTube for us to take notice.
Once people started feeling misled, they turned against the organization.
Okay, so do something about it. Saying, oh, no shit, we know it's happening. Cool, do something about it. That is a stupid response.
And squared the blame on one person. The pressure was building. Online backlash and a hectic schedule was starting to take a toll.
My phone was getting 10 text messages every second. It was just...
Millions
Okay.
of supporters on one side, millions of critics on the other.
On and on and on.
Make Kony famous? Well, it made Jason famous too. And the pressure kept increasing. He was flying all over the country to spread his message.
Took the red eye to New York, landed at 5 in the morning.
I would still like to know what the money is being used for. What? If I know what the 20 millions are being used for, then I feel more comfortable defending this guy. Right now, since we don't know what the fuck he's doing, I'm like, okay.
Working around the clock.
On the Today Show, People Magazine, Reuters. By day 3, I was in LA doing interview after interview after interview.
17 interviews in 48 hours. Wow.
He was sleeping less and becoming more erratic.
Not being able to sleep, not being able to stop my racing mind.
Criticism from every direction.
Then it was like, you're the worst. You're terrible. And Kony's dead.
They started saying the whole project was for his ego, or based on greed. And
ego, yeah, probably. Slightly.
Not just criticism, responsibility. How are you going to stop children from being murdered, Jason? You promised a solution, Jason. When are you going to deliver Kony?
At the end of that day, my mind was exhausted.
To release the pressure, he and his family tried to take a couple of days off by going to Palm Springs. But people recognized him there too, so they hid away in their hotel room with the curtains closed. Jason was starting to crack. Paranoia, delusions of grandeur. He went with his family to see the Lorax, and he thought the film was speaking to him directly. Voices in Jason's head.
Was he high?
Told him that he needed...
He was probably so sleep deprived, but also, were you high?
...to get to New York in the next 12 hours, or Kony would win. Whatever that meant.
The fuck? First of all, we all know the Lorax speaks in Vietnamese.
Then, he stripped off all of his clothes.
No way. Oh my god, no way. Is this where South Park got it? Oh shit, is this what they got to San Diego? No way. Ain't no way. Oh, fuck. Hold up. Damn it. I don't know why it's not taking the word. Hold up. Oh my god.
Speaking to him 12 hours. Off all of his clothes and ran out into the street.
Oh my god.
I was on a street in San Diego.
It was. This is what South Park added. Oh my god.
Totally naked and crazy out of my mind. Someone
in San Diego.
driving by in a car took a film a video on their phone, and they sold it to TMZ for $30,000.
What the fuck? $30,000? Holy shit.
And then my naked and crazy mess went viral as well.
Yeah, some have said that he was jacking it and that he was on drugs. Neither is true. It's just a very...
Hello, South Park. Jacking it. So that's what they do.
I'm gonna jack it where the sun always shines. He's gonna jack it. Been spreading the word and now I need to ease my mind. Jacking it home.
Jacking. Okay. Let me just.
On such a bright day. Spanking it, smacking it, smack. Jacking it, jacking it, jacking it, jack. Jacking it.
Okay, let's go back.
A distressed man having a mental episode.
Were you also masturbating? Did I hear that?
But no one who was there ever said that that was happening.
No one who was there.
I'm naked, so it's not a far extension of, imagination.
He was taken to the hospital, not jail.
Police say when they showed up, they didn't see any of that and was taken to a local medical facility that he was not arrested though.
And there, he thought the staff were trying to kill him.
What?
Just one of those things where I'm like, I don't believe what you're saying. You're trying to kill me.
He ran around in his underwear, kicking in doors until eventually...
I'm sorry, this is serious. He clearly had a mental episode and he broke. It's just really funny to me. I didn't know that's where South Park got it.
Eventually, he was subdued.
I cannot believe it's a real thing. I didn't know it was real.
Sedated.
You come back to yourself as you know yourself.
2 weeks.
2 weeks? 2 weeks, whoa.
Yeah.
Later on, one Sharona Reed tried to sue Mr. Russell for the trauma of having to see him do naked calisthenics. As far as I can tell, though, that lawsuit went nowhere.
Can you think of anything else that's worse than running around naked going like this on TMZ?
Yes.
Well, maybe one thing.
I agree. That video's actually even worse. It is.
While all of this was
it's worse.
The countdown to...
Because at least in the naked one, okay, I get you're having a psychic episode, you are out of your mind. You chose and planned to do the first one. That makes it 10 times fucking worse.
The day of action was still ticking. Thousands of kits had been sold. Get ready for an awareness campaign so effective you'll think you're living in Uganda. The kids rolled out into the street. Selfie sticks and posters ready. Let's do it. Let's save those kids.
Okay.
We're changing the world. Oh, God, yes.
They're not really doing anything, but okay. Yep.
But it wasn't all well intended. Some took it as a chance to vandalize their neighborhood with impunity.
Yeah, no shit.
The adults were left to clean up the mess. And despite the impression you might get from this fancy montage, the turnout was abysmal. Here are some figures. Toronto, 50,000 people registered. Real attendance, 50.
That's actually more than I expected.
Sydney, 18,000 people registered. Real attendance, 12.
Wow.
Montreal, 4,800 registered. Real attendance...
Why the fuck is Canada... Ugh.
0. Instead, they cancelled their event and put up a post calling Invisible Children a fraud organization. This is what 4 million Kony hashtags gets you. Now, I bet you want to know where Invisible Children, Jason Russell, and Kony are now. But before I tell you that, I want to go on 2 quick tangents of things I found while researching. In the Kony2012 video, you'll see this guy, Louis Marino Ocampo, Chief Prosecutor for the International Criminal Court. This would...
Okay, so this is the guy who can actually do something to help.
...be the organization that charges Kony if he was ever caught. Well, in 2017, a bunch of Louis' emails were leaked, and they detailed one hell of a caper to catch Kony and bring him to justice.
Okay.
I'm not making any of the following up, right? Here's the plan. Lure Kony out of the jungle
Okay.
with Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie as bait.
Straight from a Hollywood.
This guy. This guy was watching a fucking movie and said, hey, what if you tried that in real life?
Good movie. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt attempting to arrest an African warlord.
So it would go, the A-list couple...
What? 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 This is like the time I find out that one actress from The Walking Dead was actually helping 3 people who were trafficked in my country, like out of fucking nowhere.
Would fly to the...
Or that now Dr. Phil be helping the poor illegal immigrants in the United States. Like, what the fuck?
Edge of the jungle where Kony is hiding, and call him up with an invitation to dinner. Kony, starstruck, would of course say yes. He'd show up, presumably bottle of wine.
That's the plan? That's the most retarded plan I ever heard in my goddamn life.
In hand and ready to mingle. Then, imagine his shock. It was...
Why? Okay, so the logic is that he would not realize it's a trap and just assume Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie are what, fans? They love his work and they want to meet him. What?
It was a trap all along. Special forces would pop out from behind the salad bar and get their guy.
One idea appears to have been for Angelina Jolie to lure him to a private dinner where he would be arrested.
It was a
that guy's face. That's my face. He's fucking done.
Plan, but unfortunately, it was never realized. Once Miss Jolie stopped responding to Louis' weird emails, Ocampo approached George Clooney for use of his spy satellite.
Okay, so now I'm thinking it wasn't a real plan. He was just trying to get to Angelina Jolie. Okay, what the fuck? Also, George Clooney has a spy satellite? What? What? The fuck?
The chief prosecutor had also attempted to recruit George Clooney in a plot to fly spy satellites over Libya.
Yeah.
So when he got to play Batman, did he get to keep the card and the satellite? What the fuck?
That's correct. George Clooney partnered with a satellite company to spy on al-Bashar of Sudan.
What?
Anyway, he responded that the satellite wasn't powerful.
Wait, hold up, explain, I need more context.
So then Ocampo moved on to his backup date, Sean Penn, whom he invited to the UN security meeting in South Sudan.
Okay.
And there were some people...
This fucking guy is just using... This guy's used to his job to become friends with celebrities. That's all he's doing. There is no way he's actually serious about any of this.
Still having fun with Kony2012 as well. Turns out Kony looks a lot like Carl Weathers in the movie Predator. So an idea was formed. Take this screenshot from Predator.
No.
Post it on Facebook and say how great he is without mentioning the name. Then wait for some slacktivists to immediately assume it's Joseph Kony. Then you call them racist.
Because they usually are, yes.
It was good for a few minutes of fun. Then they tried it on the official meetup pages. Promptly deleted. And we're back. So get a load of this total car crash, dumpster fire, shitstorm, diaper hurricane, am I right, guys? Well, no. Despite all the mishaps and poor turnout, Kony2012 was a massive success. The goal was to make an obscure warlord in rural Uganda a household name. And they succeeded. A reach in the hundreds of millions on a budget of about $1.5 million. Any marketing agency...
What happened to the 20 million? Do we know?
Kill for that. In fact, 7 years later, you probably clicked on this video because you have some vague notion of Kony.
Nope, no idea.
And that video already. Now, Let me give you a very brief rundown on where everyone is. Then let's get out of here. Invisible children, outside of long-term and small-scale...
I mean, to be fair, in my country that actually happened, so we don't have time to give a shit about what's happening in another country. We don't have, you know, we're not America, we don't have the time or money to care about what's happening in Uganda when it's actually happening in our backyard.
Scale projects, they've largely ceased operations. Joseph Kony, he's still out there, but his army is shrinking and splintering.
Nah, I have to know. I have to know. Hold up. Is he alive or is he dead? Is Kony... Is Kony dead? 2025. 10 years later. Fugitive Joseph Kony. So have been arrested by the 2012. So is he still alive? 64. It's suspected of. So he's still out there, it seems. Yeah. Fuck. Okay. But
he is effectively in hibernation. And Jason Russell. He's no longer with Invisible Children. He's also been breakdown free since 2012.
Good.
But he's still doing the activism thing. Look, I've had to gloss over so many details in this video, and there are so many more questions to be answered.
Okay.
But I don't want this video to be an hour long or to take 2 months more to make, so I'm going to round this one off with a Q&A on the second channel. What about that?
I did a Q&A, a reaction to the Q&A for Costa Concordia. We'll do a reaction for this one as well.
$20 million they raised. Why didn't the US military or the Ugandan military ever just bomb the shit out of Kony?
Yeah.
What did Kony have to
what the fuck?
say about the video? All of these questions, and a ton more, plus any questions you may have of your own.
Okay.
Uganda want to see it.
Yeah, that was bad. Fuck. In case you're wondering, Joseph Kony is still free today. Fuck. That was 3 years ago. His army has shrunk to an estimated 100 members, and both Uganda and US consider him a non-threat. Well, that is bullshit. That is bullshit. There's 100 too many people alive that need to be killed. No one's looking for him anymore, so basically he got away with 30 years of fuck him. Fuck off. Wow. Send me down just a rabbit hole. Yep. People are pretty much anything to stop Kony as long as he didn't involve any practical action. Yep. The plot about Angelina Jolie flying to Uganda and luring Tony to a trap sounds like something from South Park. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Alright. Let's end that on the song. I cannot believe this is real. I cannot believe they got it from there.
To San Diego, there's so much to see. From the sparkling waters of Mission Bay to the warm tortillas of Old Town. And after a day of sightseeing, why not try spanking it in one of our charming city streets? San Diego, come, take a load off. Jacking it, spanking it.
Come take a load off. Wow. I don't see any comments about Kony. I don't think anyone knows.
Spanking it, smacking it, smack. Whacking it, whacking it.
Yeah, I don't think anyone.
Whacking it, whack. Spanking it, jerking it, smacking it, smack. The cars are passing me by. They honk and say hello.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. I'm gonna leave it there.